When I was younger, I used to read a lot, and lately I've been missing the feeling of being trapped in someone else's life, even if it was just for a brief moment. The ability to transport into different cities, different worlds, and different universes, even. Reading for me used to be a way to escape from the now, to escape from reality and live someone else's life, even if it was just for a little bit. And now more than ever, I need a bit more of an outlet from my busy life. I feel constantly tired and stressed sometimes, and I knew that it was time to buy a couple books. So before crocheting, let's just go through the books that I ordered recently. And firstly, I got this book called A Thousand Splendid Suns, and I've seen it all over TikTok. Apparently, it's very, very well written. It's a very sad book as well, and I love reading things that just make you feel an intense emotion, whether it's horror, fear, love, or sadness. I really like those types of books, so I knew that this one was something that I would want to read. I don't usually go for popular books, but this is genuinely something that I would find interesting. So, next up is Never Let Me Go, and this book is a dystopian story where you have these kids in a boarding house and they're going to be harvested for their organs. I know it sounds a bit crazy, and if you are an anime fan, it kind of reminds me of The Promised Neverland. In terms of the whole storyline and even like the mothers and the people in charge, and people just don't know what's going on in the outside world. And lastly, it's more of a self-help book, and I got The Courage to Be Disliked. And I'm not really going into detail about what these books about because as of now I haven't even started reading them just yet. But I am a crocheter, so before I even start reading, I'm gonna make a couple reading accessories today. So in today's video, I want to get at least 4 projects done. So I want to make a book cover, a bookmark, a glasses tray, and a case for my glasses so I can just put it inside my handbag. So for project number 1, I decided to make this really, really basic granny square book cover. All I needed was some yarn, and this is just regular acrylic yarn. I'm really trying to use up my yarn stash. I have so much yarn if you saw my yarn organizing video, and it just hasn't been touched, and I need to really use some. And I'm thinking of making a lot more scrap yarn projects this autumn as well. Especially I could make gloves, scarves, hats, or just something to help get rid of everything. So yeah, this yarn I haven't even opened, and a lot of yarn that I have in my room I have not opened, and this is just a basic white yarn as well, so I'm surprised that I haven't used it. So this just consists of one giant granny square, and this process of making the granny square, I didn't even need a tutorial or anything like that. It was very, very straightforward. Ever since I started crocheting even, I always gravitated towards granny squares, so I've memorized the pattern off by heart. Even how to assemble the book cover as well, I didn't need a tutorial either. To me, it was pretty straightforward, but we can go through the assembly process together. And today is actually Monday. I took a day off work because I'm not feeling well. I have not had a cold for a really, really long time. So it was a bit of a shock to me when it just came out of nowhere. There were no symptoms leading up to it whatsoever. So yeah, it was really, really strange. And I tend to recover very, very quickly. So the cold started on Friday. So I'm pretty sure I can get back into work the next day. So on Tuesday. So to assemble the book cover, you need to have your granny square tilted so it's more of a diamond shape, and then you want to place your book in the center and fold up 3 of the corners just to see if it's the right size, and mine was the perfect size. So then I began sewing everything together, as you can see here. Before I fastened off my granny square, I did make sure to just chain a couple at the top of my book cover so I can wrap it around my book when it's complete. And you don't have to do that, you can secure it with a button or something, but I really like the chaining and the whole wrapping around design. It looks very, very stylish. Then I began sewing everything together. You can use a crochet hook, but I decided to use a tapestry needle. I just thought that would be a little bit better, but you can just single crochet everything together. But I haven't sewn in a while, so I was just thinking to myself, why not? And for the last finishing touches, I decided to add this hair jewelry. So it's usually used to put at the ends of your braids or your twists just to add a bit of style. But I decided to add it to my crochet project, and the touch of gold actually looks so pretty. I really love how this project turned out, and it is the perfect size as well. There was one book cover that I made a couple days ago that was way too big for the book that I initially wanted to make. So make sure that it's a really snug fit and there's not really much room for the book to move around. Okay, let's move on to the next project, and I'm just going to start off really simple and make a book cover. For this bookmark, I decided to use a different crochet stitch. So I used this star stitch, but to me it kind of looks like a flower, to be honest. But I just chained a few and then followed the pattern, and I'm still watching The Big Bang Theory. I have so many seasons left. I think I'm on season 7, and there are 12 seasons and there's just so many episodes. But yeah, I'm just catching up on that as I am crocheting the bookmark. And typically I don't even use bookmarks. I just fold my book, like I just put it flat on the table so I know what page I'm on. But I like reading on the bus and like on the way to work and everything, so I think having a bookmark will be a lot more practical. And I have a lot of milk cotton yarn, so I knew I had to use it for this project, and I'll probably be using it for many more projects down the line. After a couple minutes, the bookmark was done, and I really like the design. It's very pretty and really simple. So to finish off the bookmark, I did end up making a little tassel. This took me about 45 minutes to make in total. I know it sounds a little bit long, but I was really concentrating on the Big Bang Theory as I was crocheting, so I kept pausing and I was getting a little bit distracted, but it shouldn't take more than half an hour. And just like that, our second project of this video is complete. Next up, I have a glasses case. I don't really need a glasses cover. I wear my glasses all the time, and in fact, I think my vision is getting a lot worse, so I don't really have time to like take it off and put it down. But some outfits that I wear don't really suit glasses, if that makes sense. So I think it'd be beneficial to have a glasses case so I can just take them off and then put them in my handbag, just so it doesn't ruin the outfit. But like during the day, I can take them out and put them back on just in case my vision gets a lot worse. And I am going to be using this yarn that I used in my previous video. I was doing some fall room decorations and I used this for my cushion, and you guys should definitely check out that video. It was really fun to make, and it seems like a lot of you enjoyed that video as well. So yeah, I'm going to be using that, and I really love the shade of pink as well. And I decided to use the same stitch that I did for my bookmark to make this as well, just the same star stitch but in the form of a bag. I will link the tutorials that I use in the description box below, because I did need a tutorial for the book cover, sorry, the bookmark and this glasses case, because I've never done this stitch before. I'll show you guys what the glasses case looks like at the end of the video, but let's just say it's not my favorite. For some reason, it looks like the stitch is missing, so it kind of starts off wide, and then the more rows that I do, it gets a lot thinner as it comes to the top, which is really, really annoying. But anyways, it's fine. Okay, so for the last project of this video, I'm going to be making a glasses tray. So mistake number one of this project was me trying to use two different weights of yarn. So I used the yarn that I used in my previous video as well, this gray cinnamon cardamom type of color, and also this acrylic yarn. So the cardamom colored yarn needs a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook, and my acrylic yarn needs a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. But I was like, let's just crochet it anyway. How bad can it be? So as I was crocheting and crocheting and crocheting, you could really tell that the weights were very different. And also I wasn't weaving in my ends as I went along, so the back looked so messy. And I decided that I had to start again. And oh, by the way, this is a cat glasses tray. So the gray I used for some of the fur, and the white was used for the fur as well. So I started again and I switched out my yarn and used this gray, which is a lot closer to the weight of my white yarn. I think it's just a 0.5 millimeter difference in terms of recommended hook size, so that wasn't too bad at all. But I kept running into issues. It seemed like my stitch count was really off, so I decided to start again a couple times. I started again twice in total, but then I was just like, let me just go with it. I don't really care what it looks like anymore. I just want to get it done. I will link the tutorial in the description box below, but for me, my stitch count really was off. I don't know if it's the video. That would be a really bold claim, but maybe it's just me. I'm not sure. I'll link in the description box below and let me know if the tutorial works for you and if your stitch count was good. After I got majority of the tray done, I started adding the face, and this was mistake number two. For some reason, I was just too lazy at this point, so I started drawing the details in, like the whiskers and the nose, but I did use safety eyes for this. Which I'm not sure if you're even supposed to use it. I think a lot of these crocheters recommend that you use felt or embroider it on, because if you put the safety eye backings on, it won't lay flat on your desk. But again, I didn't care. I was tired. I was crocheting for majority of the day and I just wanted this to be finished. In fact, I didn't even want to make it anymore. So that's why it looked really rushed and very lazy towards the end. And that is the end of the fourth and final project. So I did end up making another book cover in these colors for 1,000 Splendid Suns, and it suits the book so much. I love how it turned out, and I also added the hair jewelry on the tie around the book cover as well. And here is a reveal of everything. So first of all, we have the Courage to Be Disliked, and the book cover is just so elegant. This will look so good in a tote bag, like when you go to the library on a little study date, and then you have your very aesthetic stationery supplies and books and everything. This just looks so nice. And I showed my sister-in-law and she said that it looked like a handbag that she used to own as a child, and it does kind of look like a purse. It looks very stylish, like I could add a strap and wear it as a handbag. That's how nice it looks. And then next up we have the glasses case, and you can see what I mean when I say that it was getting thinner and thinner the more rows that I did, and it's really annoying because it's a tight fit at the beginning, but then it fits nice and snug at the end. So yeah, I don't really like this. I'm going to make another one using a different stitch, or I can repeat the same pattern but try and pay attention more to the stitches. But yeah, this is probably my first failed crochet project in a really long time, and this is my second failed crochet project in a really long time, and that is my cat glasses tray. It doesn't look horrible, that's the thing, but to me it just doesn't look complete. And anyways, here we have the book cover, which is one of my favorite projects throughout this video, but my absolute favorite is definitely the white granny square book cover. I really, really love how this turned out, and it's just so, so pretty. Alright guys, that is the end of today's video. I really, really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know which project is your favorite, and as always, I will see you in the next one.